If you guys wouldn't mind, we would really love it if you'd take a second and just hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It would really help us out immensely. We are really trying hard to try to get some more content on there. I apologize, it has taken a little bit, and we're really looking forward to sharing some stuff with you from the Hershey RV show coming up next week. So be sure to come back and check us out.
Good morning, Fireflies. This is going to be a little bit different kind of video for us. We are actually headed over to Serenity. Say good morning.
Good morning.
And we just got back last weekend from a long trip up north to visit family. And that was a wonderful trip. We hit the Wisconsin Dells. We went up to the Minnesota State Fair. And so it was a long trip. It was about 13 hours of towing for us, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So what we're going to do today while we're working over at Serenity trying to clean her up is talk about, kind of go back to our roots a little bit and talk about some things that we like and dislike about Serenity. Now, we've had Serenity about how long, honey? About what, a year and a half now?
About a year and a half, a little over that now. Yeah, yep. Because we got her in January of 23.
January 23. Yeah. And we've put, I would roughly estimate about 14,000 miles of towing on Serenity so far. And we've had fun everywhere we've gone. We do have a lot more video content to put out on our travels. Unfortunately, you know how life gets in the way. But we figured we put out kind of a quick little video, and it seems like it's our most popular video actually, of the things that we like and dislike about Serenity. And of course, things change a little bit the more you use a product, and in this case, an inTech Soul Horizon Rover Edition, which we nicknamed Serenity. And we love Serenity, and of course, there's lots of things that we love, and there's still things that we dislike about Serenity. And we're not just going to hash out the same things that we talked about before. We might go over them just a little bit again, but we're going to go into the things that we have learned that we like even more about Serenity, and things that we dislike still, or things that we've learned that we've disliked about Serenity. So stay tuned. We're going to get over here after we hit do a couple of errands, and we'll start getting into it. So we're here in the warehouse at my work, where we keep Serenity nice indoor and protected throughout the year. And a big shout out to my boss, who allows us to do that and makes for keeping Serenity in very good shape instead of out in the weather all the time. So what I'm doing is I'm actually re-leveling the camper. We are leveling, Smart Pro leveling. I'll put it up in the corner here in the comments. The system that we use, which I love, it is Bluetooth enabled smart leveling system, and it does great, but it ran out of power and got messed up on the last trip we took up north. And so I need to re-level the camper. So I am using a long level inside. Once I get everything level, then I go into the app and I set it. But now I'm getting away from the subject. So we're doing 5 things we like and 5 things we dislike. And yeah, we've done a different video, and now we're going to talk about some different things after getting, you know, I don't know, 14,000 miles, a year and a half under our belts with Serenity, and loving every minute of it practically, except for, of course, setting up and breaking down, which nobody likes, but that's okay. So I'm going to talk about the first thing, which oddly enough on our last video we had as a dislike, and that is actually the gray black tank combination on the camper. Now, of course, this is only a 19-foot camper. On this model and several other models of campers, especially travel trailers that have minimal space, this has a combined black and gray tank. And so you don't have the ease of use, I will say, of just being able to dump your grays easier, your blacks easier, being separate. This one is combined. Now, like I've said, we've traveled about 14,000 miles with this camper, and we've only had a problem one time with our combined black gray tank getting essentially full. And it didn't cause any issues. We just found out that it was full, and then we had to disconnect, go over, dump, and come back. And it's not fun, but we've only had to do that one time in all the places that we've been. And so you learn pretty easily what your limitations are as far as, say, taking showers or washing dishes and keeping the water running. So it really is not so much a dislike anymore. You kind of get used to it. We thought it was going to be more of an issue, but it hasn't. So there's one.
So number 2 is we really like the fact that this camper is small, because last summer when we went out west, up the Oregon coast, Washington coast, went to Solduck, which is beautiful rainforest campground up there. The park is beautiful. You really have to have a camper that's less than, I think, 20 feet. I'm not sure. Maybe Michael can put something up here in the corner somewhere. Yeah, over here, to tell you if that's right or not. But most of those campgrounds out there say if you're over, I think, 20 feet or so, you can't fit in. They will not let you come in. And if you try to go in, you're going to get stuck because it was rough, it was tight, a lot of curves.
Oh, yeah, especially where we're
squished. The lanes were small, the trees were low, the sites are short, and you got to have enough room, obviously, for your camper and your tow vehicle. So it's just really nice to be able to have the opportunity to have a camper that's big enough to actually enjoy, but still small enough to take with you wherever you want to go, so you can get to some of those hard to get into places.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very tight places.
Yeah, very tight places.
The third thing, these are in no particular order, by the way. So like number 1 is our best, and number 5 is the worst best. But this is number 3. So one of the things when we got, the interesting thing about this it's also a dislike for us. So when we got Serenity, it is a Rover edition. So it had a lot of nice features that the standard edition doesn't have. And of course, I am talking about the 2023 model.
Yes.
The 2024 and the 2025 models have changed actually quite a bit.
We haven't seen a 25 model. I don't know if that's even been released yet.
Well, we know
maybe at the Hershey RV show.
Maybe at the show, but we're going to release this video before we go to that show. So we will definitely bring you some videos from the inTech site at the Hershey show and the Tampa show this year. We're expecting them down there as well. So, of course, this is the 2023. We did tour and see the 2024 build. I am going to be releasing that video hopefully soon, hopefully this week. And it takes us all the way through. We did the full tour. It was wonderful. And we were jealous as all get out because of all the upgrades. They fixed so many of the gripes that we had from this, the 2023 and earlier horizons. So some of the stuff, and we've done this in our other video, are upgrades that we've done to Serenity, including the steps on the outside. We upgraded the stabilizers because they were kind of minimal stabilizers, and it has helped out a lot with keeping Serenity, nice and solid and firm for us, especially while we're sleeping. And look at the cutie out here cleaning. Ain't she so cute?
Trying to. This thing is not easy to do.
You got to push it just right. And of course, the one other thing that I think was a major fault of inTech's is the minimal power that they put into this thing. So I'm talking battery system. So of course you got to pay to get, solar put on to any of your campers these days. Unless you're buying the top end camper, you're not going to get solar built in. You're just not. And I understand that. inTech's cost on solar is very, very high. And we talked to him about this in our tour. It's $8,000 for their solar package. And what that includes is, and I'll put this up in the corner because I can't remember off the top of my head, the full solar package on the roof and an upgraded lithium system. And of course, if you buy any of their campers without that solar upgrade or without the lithium upgrade, all you get is a 100 amp hour AGM battery. And essentially what a 100 hour AGM battery gives you is 50 amp hours of usable power, because you are not supposed to take a 100 amp hour AGM or essentially a lead acid battery down to below 50% of its usable power. Because if you do, you can actually damage the battery and it will reduce its ability to hold a charge longer for you in the overall life of the battery. So one of the first things we did was we upgraded at a pretty good cost. It was not cheap, but I actually found a really good system. I actually have a video of that installation, and I'll put a link in it in the description for you. And we put in 2 100 amp hour lithium batteries into Serenity, and it has changed everything. We went from being able to barely run fans and lights for one night to be able to run fans, lights, the outdoor Dometic fridge for multiple days without having to hook into power. And it's going to expand our boondocking experience from here on. But inTech, and we'll talk about this in future videos, has done some upgrades in the 2024 and obviously the 2025 that makes us very jealous. And
well, they've also done a couple things in them that I don't like. Obviously, I don't like the new refrigerator, right?
Yeah, they put all of their new campers have 12-volt fridges in them.
With a propane choice.
Yeah, we love our 3-way fridge. If you're boondocking, a 3-way fridge is a must.
You've got to have that.
Because you can run your fridge the entire time on almost no electricity at all. So if you're not using your outdoor Dometic and you're just using your indoor fridge, all you need is a couple of fans and lights and you can run your whole camper without any problems. But now with a 12-volt, it's almost absolutely necessary to have a lithium upgrade or at least more batteries.
Hey everybody, so you might notice that it's been a few days since we actually filmed the rest of this video. That's because we had a little bit of a hiccup with some of the video, so we had to redo it. So I just wanted to say on this point, which I believe is number 4, that what we really like too is being able to cook inside and outside. So right now we are in Pennsylvania and it is cool. It's going to be like low 50s, mid 50s tonight. It's about 60 degrees right now. Very cool, windy. So instead of cooking dinner outside tonight on the griddle like we usually do, we decided to cook dinner inside tonight. We're making a little hot apple cider right now so we can go sit by the fire. But that's a really great thing, is to be able to cook inside or outside and not just have to rely on a fire pit or, you know, just something like that, or having to bring something with you, because the outdoor kitchen and is really nice and the indoor kitchen is really nice. So that's just another thing we really like.
To have both of those available is the big point of this.
It is.
And honestly, having that just opens up so many options for us, because I love to get up in the morning and go outside and cook breakfast on the griddle.
Yeah.
And just like she said, it's pretty cold tonight, and so we made dinner inside, and it was lovely. She did a very good job.
The temperature's not that bad. He probably could have cooked outside in it, but it is a little windy tonight, and we were like, well, let's just make dinner inside. So I did dinner inside tonight.
But she did a good job.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. Okay, so we do like, and this is number 5?
Number 5.
Number 5. We do like the amount of storage in this camper. It does sometimes feel like it's not enough, and ideally, could we use more? Yes. But for a camper this size, it actually is pretty good, because you do have some nice drawers here. A really big one down here, which we're storing our pots and pans in, which we got a little nice nesting set from IKEA. It's a good deal. And then we store our plates and our utensils and towels and stuff in this one. And here we've got our cooking utensils and aluminum foil and measuring cups and such. And then up here we've got spices and we've got silverware. We might reconfigure this at some point, but right now it's working. We also have some nice storage up here. Found some nice containers. I got an idea from someone on the group and found these containers at Walmart.
Thank you, Facebook.
They're awesome. Yeah, and I love these actually. These are really good. So we have a nice amount of storage up there for the most part. You also, of course, have your storage down here, which is nice. So just so you can see, this is where we put stuff. I've got 3M containers hanging on. That's been on there. It never fell down. It's great. Got one in there. Got stuff back there. There's our air fryer. This we got at Target. Yeah, it's a little wonky, but it works fine. Everything opens fine. So that actually worked out really
Maybe
good.
someday I'll put in a more permanent type
maybe build
storage
something.
system in
Right.
there.
And of course you have this big drawer down here, which technically we could use for other stuff. I could put food in this if I wanted to. Right now I'm storing some suits and extra towels. Of course, don't forget up here, you've got all the room for all your clothes. I've used some baskets that I got at Target again, something I saw on a group. So you've got all that storage. You could use this if you wanted in this, and we do a little bit, but not
We use
much.
these more for decoration, and you can see what
Yeah.
we've done is we upgraded the TV and we got a sound bar. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put those cables down through. I'm going to put holes in and put those cables down through so they don't actually come up.
We're still working on this camper, obviously, but of course you've got a nice drawer under here. Also, inTech, if you're watching, you should take note about this because everybody's doing this. So down here, underneath the dinette, is a perfectly usable space. Now, the issue is, I don't want to have to take this up and down, because it's not super easy to get to just that section without taking the two bottom cushions off and all 3 of the top cushions off and then trying to maneuver it and all that. It's kind of a pain. So we rectified that by, again, based on people doing this in the group. Great idea.
Facebook.
We put this in, and now we have access to all that storage underneath there. Now, a slide-out tray would make it really nice. The only reason we haven't done that is because obviously you're going to lose some space. Could you probably get away with losing some space in here? Probably, because it is up a little bit higher, and as you can see, most of what we have in there, we have a lot of room. So we could get it by with having a pull-out, slide-out thing. So if they did something like that, that'd be great, and we'd love it, because this is very handy and very useful for storing things that you can get to.
Easy installation.
Yes.
And
We've got a video. Check out our channel. There's a link to the video here.
Right up there.
But he did a great job putting it in. It worked great. Thank you so much, Facebook group. Love you all. Great idea. We love it. And of course, the storage up at the top, which surprisingly is very large and very deep. So I have baskets again. Facebook group, thank you. I got these at Target. These came from Aldi, actually. These came from Target. But as you can see, these are giant. I still have another set of baskets in the very back. So it goes pretty deep. The reason being is because this is where they store the extra cushion in the pole when you want to make this dinette into a full-size bed. Now, we don't use it very often for that, and we do keep it with us, but we have decided to put it underneath here. Yes, that's where our lithium batteries are, but it fits in there nicely. It's back in the, tucked in there with the bar and everything in case we do need it for some reason, but we keep it down there. This leaves us all this room for storage to do whatever we need to do. So it's great.
Okay, let's talk about our number 1 dislike. And of course, these are not in any particular order again. But as the indoor-outdoor cook area is wonderful. I love it. I love to cook on it. We love to be out here cooking during cold days. Warm days, not so fun. But one of the things that comes with the Horizon Rover edition, and of course you can purchase this, and you can purchase this separately, and maybe it's changed. I don't even know if Dometic makes this anymore, but they make all sorts. Is this outdoor fridge / freezer. So now you can set the You can set it to whatever temperature you want. It is great. So we use it almost exclusively as a freezer. And so we put a bag of ice in here for her week-long trip, and the ice stays frozen the entire time. It is awesome. The only downside is our fridge on the inside, not the biggest. It really does not hold all that much food. So one of the things that we think could be a major upgrade is for them to offer a split fridge freezer out here. And we've seen them before. So instead of it being one area in here, it's half of it you can set to one temperature and half of it you can set to the other. That way you can keep some frozen foods out here, and then you can have additional fridge storage over here. I don't know if inTech's done that. We'll talk about that when we see them up in Hershey and in Tampa. But for the 2023 version with the Dometic, that was, I mean, it's not a huge letdown, but it's definitely on the dislike list.
Okay, so dislike number 2 for us is obviously sleeping. One thing that I don't like is the fact that this bed is sideways.
We talked about that on our first
So that's not fun for me. At some point, I'm going to probably have to change campers so we can get a bed that I don't have to do that, because getting in and out of that is really hard to do when you got a bad knee, a bad hip, a bad back, and bad everything else. So,
thankfully, I don't have bad everything, but actually jumping over her, not fun to do when she's still trying to sleep and I'm wanting to get up in the morning and go make breakfast. Yeah. So what I generally do is I just lay there and look at my phone until she decides to wake up.
Because he's so nice like that.
I try not to disturb my baby. Well,
so, the other thing about the fact that, you know, the bed situation is the way it is that they say this camper is really suited for 4 people. Yes, technically that's true. You could fit 2 more people in here to sleep on, but they're going to be very tight together in that bed over there because it's a full-size bed, not a queen-size bed. It's slightly angled odd, so whoever's on that side is going to be kind of awkward. And just in general, the camper might work better, in my opinion, for 2 adults and maybe 2 small children for a little while. But ideally, you're going to really want this space to be like this all the time, because if it's the 2 of you, you're going to want to come and sit down. This is the only place you have to sit and rest. It's a place to sit and eat. We do eat inside more than we eat outside on them because the bugs are just horrific, and I don't like eating bugs with my meals. So,
wait, you don't like eating bugs?
If it's bad outside, we don't sit outside. We sit here. I do wish I could figure up a couple different things on this, though, just to make this more comfortable when we're sitting here as a sofa, because it, you know, if I had a place to put up my legs a little easier, it would be better. But
yeah, making this a sleeper for if somebody wants to use the entire space, including this for their sleeping, because honestly, this is about the size of a twin bed.
Yeah, so one person can sleep there, just take this pole out
without converting,
and they're fine.
Yeah,
we've already had 2 people do that. My mother did it one weekend, and
actually 3 people.
Michael's best friend did it one night,
and my brother.
That's right, we've done it 3 times. That's right, Jimmy did it too. So your brother did it
Jimmy as well. And Steve. Jimmy is like 6'3", and Steve is like 6'2"-ish, I think, depending on.
Steve is his brother from another mother, so he's like my little bro. He stayed in this and he did okay. Slept in it as a twin configuration. We didn't have to make it into the bed.
No, actually, I did make it in.
You did make it
for him.
The bed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we didn't. We just ate outside the whole time, but. I mean, as nice as this pole is, and it's strong, it is sturdy. Once you got it in place, lift it in, unscrew this thing all the way, take out the extra cushion from underneath there, and then the reduced pole, put that in, put in the cushion, the tabletop and the cushion.
You're talking about that pole. So one of the things about that pole, we never take that pole out. It stays right there.
Right now.
Every time we go somewhere, we just take the top off.
Yeah, this is our travel configuration.
So,
we take the top off and leave it over there. And we leave the pole, and as long as there's nothing pushing on that pole, it doesn't move during transport, and it's not going to damage the base.
Matter of fact, if you have a bag of something you don't want to roll around, you want to keep it in your camper, just put the handles around this pole, and it will keep it in one spot.
Yep. So, ideally, the Horizon is really for 2 people. I mean, if we want to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a 2-person camper.
It really is. It really is.
Okay, so we're going to talk about number 3, on our dislike list. And this is more, it's kind of been taken care of from inTech for the most part at this point. These are little upgrades that we had to do. And of course I had them on my like list, but I'm also having them on the dislike list because we had to put a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of sweat, and unfortunately some blood into doing some of these upgrades, just because these are little things that inTech didn't think about when they were selling certain models. Now, of course, we have the Horizon Rover edition, and the Horizon Rover is 3 inches taller than the standard edition.
That's right.
It comes with bigger off-road tires, which are wonderful, and it is a great camper, especially if you want to go off-road, which we did, unfortunately, not by choice, last year when we went into Arches on one of our maiden voyages. So
Video coming soon.
video coming soon. Well, there's a little bit of that video on, I'll put the little link.
Gotta get that video out.
So one of the things that I dislike is that they don't take into account the long-term usability of the camper a little bit. And I think that they've taken some steps on the 2024 model in order to clear some of that up. One being the steps. So you can see that this has dual steps. Well, it did not come with dual steps. It had a single step.
We had to put that in.
You really had to step up high. And unfortunately, Erica, with her health problems that she's got,
It was too difficult.
That
I couldn't do that.
That was one of the first things that she was like, no. We got to get...
The Rover edition really needs to have better steps from the beginning. And hopefully now with what they're doing, that's rectified the situation. But there for a while, they weren't doing that. And we had to go out and buy steps and then try to retrofit it for the camper. We did it. He did a great job. But you know,
these are not made specifically for this model. So I did have to do some retrofitting. I had to create some pieces underneath there to enable it to fit into the same screw spaces.
And although they're great and they work fine, I cannot pull them out and put them down.
Yeah, they stick, unfortunately.
It's too hard to get back in and too hard to get out because it does stick a little bit when you're doing it. And you got to have some muscle. Unfortunately, with all my stuff, I don't have strength. So I can't do that. But
okay, on top of that, on top of the steps, I talked about it in the likes, was the power built into the camper. They only supplying a 100 amp hour AGM battery with these campers is a major oversight, I think. I think with the cost of these campers, and yes, I understand that all campers are getting more costly these days. With the cost of these campers, I think it is a small bit for them to upgrade the price just a little bit and put in lithium batteries. I think lithiums should absolutely be a default in these campers. I think putting AGMs, especially on these mid-tier travel trailers like the Horizon, is a major oversight on inTech's part. I think maybe they're starting to rectify that. They are definitely upgrading some of the things in it, but putting a 12-volt fridge in, which is a power-hungry beast of a fridge, is a big problem when you're trying to conserve battery, especially when you're boondocking. So that, unfortunately, is one of the other things that we dislike, having to do some of these things. Oh, we also upgraded the stabilizers, which I talked about in the like. We like it because it was easy to do the upgrades for the most part. But these are the kind of things that we think inTech should be taking care of. And like we said, we're jealous of some of these upgrades in the 2024 because one of the things that we're thinking about doing is putting a soft start in our AC system. And they're now doing that on all the new campers. They're putting in Coleman AC systems with built-in soft starts. And if you don't know what soft starts are, I will put a link in the description below. Read all about it. I have not done a video about them yet. I will when we get our soft start and we put it in, which will probably be sometime in the spring. I think it's number 5.
Okay, so number 5 is going to be the back hitch. So they put a hitch on the back so that you could, hitch receiver, I should say. So you can put a hitch on and you can use it to carry other things, which is great. We love that. What we don't love is the fact that it's not going to carry what we need to carry, because the weight on that, I believe it was 150. I think it's 175 now.
I think it's 175.
I'm not sure. Again, maybe Michael put something up in the corner, but either way, we need it to be at least 200 pounds, maybe 225, because we both have e-bikes. And ideally, I would love to put them on the back of the camper instead of having to put them in the back of the truck and fold them up. Unfortunately, due to their weight and the weight of the hitch, that's not going to happen. The other thing that inTech should think about is on the campers that do have this back rear receiver, perhaps they should think about where that license plate needs to go. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that ain't going to work. Now, I don't know if that's something they can do or not. It would be nice if there was at least one other section to put that, maybe farther up somewhere, so that if you do have something in the way, that would work. Maybe they can't do that. I don't know. So, you know, that's just something to think about, I guess. But there might be a reason they can't do it that way. But if that hitch receiver was just a little bit stronger, we could actually use it and put a hitch on there and put our bikes on that. Right now, it's pretty much useless. There's really no reason or anything that we can put on it.
Okay, we're gonna walk outside a little bit because it's about 85 degrees today and there is no air conditioning in this warehouse and we are burning up. Takes a lot to get Serenity out of the warehouse, so we don't like to do it unless we need to, usually when we're going on trips. So in the winter, it's not a big deal. We're gonna clean her up real good then, but during the summer, we're baking. But the number 5 thing that we wanted to talk about on the dislikes is just another thing that inTech unfortunately does not build into Serenity, and that's any kind of leveling system. And I use a Level Mate Pro, I believe is the name of it, and it is a wonderful leveling system. The problem is that it costs, I think it's a little over $100. It's Bluetooth, so I can sit in the truck while we're backing up. I can pull it up. It connects to it. It tells me, you know, what I need to do before I even get out of the truck. It's a really wonderful system. We started off with the cheap one that swings out. It's got the little bubbles on it. That thing was just, it's crap. It really is, because you got to get out, you got to look at it, you got to get back in, you got to put down leveling blocks, you got to get out, check it, blah, blah, back and forth, back and forth. I can do about half of my leveling before I even get out of the truck, which is a tremendous upgrade. And inTech, I mean, if you're gonna do all these other upgrades, maybe you need to put in some type of leveling system for it, everybody. Just a thought.